Alright guys, it's Raiden and today's video is on the Kodas hammer and how to get it as quick as possible. I got some information to figure out how the iSimp spawning works, the locations, the time at which it spawns, and the whole process to getting Kodas hammer and which routes you can take to get your whole zerg into Kodas hammer as quick as possible. So the iSimp spawns either one or two locations here. You saw it spawned by Frost Reach spawn, which is very dangerous because if their whole zerg is there, it just makes it a lot tougher. And you don't want your zerg chasing into their spawn. Because a lot of your zerglings don't know how the legendary defender works. But anyway, so the other iSimp spawn, by the way, is kind of below the middle gate or triple gate. But after you pick up the ice orb, now if I was to drop this ice orb right now, it would respawn right where the iSimp's dead. There can only be one active ice orb at a time, but so after you pick up the ice orb, you're gonna hand it to the champion. That forge just like that. That'll spawn the ice blocks. These were not here before I handed it to him. In fact, there's two ice blocks kind of below here, very close to the champion. This is the second closest one that I'm going to now. The first closest was the one I started with. And basically you just need your team to mine these ice blocks and hand 10 of them in total to the champion. You'll get a nice dynamic event completion for it. And then after you hand in 10 of them, it'll be a 30-second countdown, so more people can still hand in ice blocks if they want to get credit for the dynamic event completion. And then after those 30 seconds are up, he'll turn into a vendor, and you just buy the Kodas hammer from him for 25 badges of honor. And unfortunately, the way it works out with the iSimp spawning and the ice orb is the iSimp respawns every time Forge flips, but it takes about 5.5 minutes on average before he respawns after Forge flips, because there's a little bit of RNG, so he basically just disappears when Forge flips and then doesn't spawn for that amount of time. And also, the ice orb disappears too when Forge flips. So for that reason, you can't go to the iSimp first and pick up the ice orb before you do Forge, because let's say you're holding the ice orb as you walk to Forge and you flip Forge and you think, okay, I'll just hand it to him after we flip it, that'll be quick. But no, your character will automatically drop the ice orb as you flip Forge. So either way, you do have to flip Forge first. And there we go, we've completed the event, talk to him, and pick up Koda's hammer. And now we're in Koda's hammer. You do keep your utility skills, by the way, but make sure you don't accidentally weapon swap, which I've done a few times, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's how the ice imp spawning works. So you do want to take Forge as quick as possible when you get into Frost Reach side, because then you already have the 5.5 minutes going. Here's the second ice imp spawn you'll see. In fact, my teammate's going to be the one to pick up the orb this time. But this imp in this location will actually die on his own to the NPCs if you give it enough time. I mean, it's easy enough to kill yourself. But so yeah, my teammate has it. He's taking it to the champion. But so as far as getting the Kodas hammer as quick as possible for your zerg, I would just recommend you take Forge first. If you're in Devourers, that's even better. You take Forge even in Devourers, and then you go take Frost Reach Keep. I'll leave a link to the video of how to take a sieged up Frost Reach Keep in the description. After you take Frost Reach Keep, if you took it quickly, then what I'll do is I'll go to Shrine, skip the Sentry. I usually take the Sentry, but if I'm doing Koda's hammer, I need the time. You take Shrine, then you take Bell Tower, and then you take Reactor. Then from Reactor, you take the teleporter up kind of to the middle gate of Triple Gate, and then you're kind of equidistant between both Ice Imp spawns. And you kill the Ice Imp, and then you go take it to Forge. Remember, there is a little bit of room for Frost Reach to capture Forge before the Ice Imp even spawns, so if you have someone watching Forge, that helps a lot, because they can actually take Forge by the time you get the Ice Imp to spawn, because it takes about 5.5 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, 50 seconds for the Ice Imp to spawn after Forge flips, and by then the RI is down, and if you're not watching Forge, it could flip and that would be a pain. But anyway, so I've recorded some footage of our entire zerg of 70 people in Koda's hammer. It does ridiculous gate DPS, and it's actually quite good in Zerg vs Zerg. And I'll leave a link to that video in the description so you can see it as well. And overall, I do love Koda's hammer. It's very good, and if you are efficient with your routes and how you get Koda's hammer, then it actually doesn't add much time at all to get into Koda's hammer. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes extra on Frost Reach side, but you do so much gate DPS, so good at Zerg vs Zerg. In the end, it's just worth it spending that extra time as long as you're staying in Koda form long enough. But there you guys have it. That'll end the video, and thanks for watching.